Everyone, it's Nicole, and I just thought I'd show you what 1 month of crafting looks like. Oh, my room is a complete disaster, and it's hard to believe, but I did pick up a lot in between the pages, but this is what I'm left with. So I'm going to put now this on fast forward, and we'll see how long it takes me to make my room that I don't want to, yell for 15 minutes because I cannot stand it when it's like this. So here we go. Okay, so let's get started. Just to say, oh my goodness, that scrap room literally gave me some sleepless nights. I dwell on stuff like that. It really bothers me. And I have to say, like, at least 4 to 5 times in the month, I did clear it up so that I could just make pages. But man, it doesn't take long when you're scrapping a ton of layouts that it gets to this point again. But this was probably the worst that it was. So what I do is when I start cleaning up is I start making little piles of everything. So I went and grabbed all my punches and put all my punches away. And then I grabbed all my alpha stickers. I make a little pile with them and then I put them away. And then I grab all the trash, which, you know what? When I make a layout, I have a little container that I throw my trash out in as I go. But for some reason, it gets, a little crazy. And then I grabbed all my mist and put all my mist away. I keep my camera upstairs in my craft room because I take pictures of my layouts, almost daily. So that's where I keep my camera. I have a specific spot for it. So I went and grabbed that. And then I I did a layout where I used a ton of stamps. So at first what I do is I just put them on top of where I keep all my stamps because my main goal was to get my desk done. Now once my desk is done, you'll see I'll move on to my stamps, and then I divide my stamps per category. But I knew that going through all that stuff, I probably would find more stamps that needed to be put away. So I didn't want to go through that process 50,000 times. So there's more stamps right there. And then I, go through the pile, grab all the leftover pattern papers because I have a spot where I put all of that. So my scrap pattern papers, and then I put all my layouts that are complete all together. I had a bunch of stencils that I had out, so I make a pile of that. And then once I find that I can see my desk really well and, I won't make 50,000 trips to the same spot, then I put that stack away. Same thing with my oversized baggies. I have a spot where I keep them. I kept my big bag out and I kept finding baggies everywhere. So I kept that out for quite a bit of time, and then I kept adding my extra bags into it. I even had stuff on the floor, guys. And the box that you see there, that's my Simon Says stamp order. That still wasn't put away. It took me, I would say, probably 2.5 hours, and my room is completely clean. I mean, there's still some stuff that I could probably organize, but it's at a spot that I feel great going into my craft room and to start creating again. Okay, so while you watch me clean up my room, I'll talk more a little bit about my process a little later on, but let's talk about what's been going on. So for the entire month of March, I had my scrapathon class. And by the way, it's not too late if you want to do it. I'll have a link in the description box below. We did 33 pages, 31, one page a day. And then we did a couple of pages that we did live. And it's still on sale for a few more days. So I'll have that link down below. Like I said, it was a ton of fun. And we got a ton of layouts done. Now that is the perfect thing to do. Let's say if you're going to a crop and you want to pack up some page kits, then if you're not one that, you don't like doing page kits without knowing what you're going to do, you have 31 prompts of different things that you can pack up for your crop. And I'm going to have a list that you can, check off. Okay, I did, one for borders, and I did one for punches, and I did one for mixed media, or one for, multiple photos or a large photo. And then another thing that happened is I went to Crop and Create. So that was a whole weekend. I went there on Friday, like around 2 o'clock, I think, or 1 o'clock, and then came home on Sunday. The last day I left early because Mason was playing a hockey game before our junior team here, which they're called the Wildcats. So it was a big thing. So I didn't want to miss that. So I went to see him play a game before the Wildcats, and then we watched the Wildcats game, and then I came home. And then a few days later, I got super, super sick. I got this bad cold, and I'm still getting over it. And this was 2 weeks ago. And since then, my husband caught it, and then now my son has it. So obviously, it was super contagious, and I'm glad that I'm on the upside of that. So that's the reason that last week there was no videos on YouTube, because, it was taking everything just to keep up with, daily stuff. So let's talk a little bit more what I'm doing here. What I do, like I said, is I put all my thickers all together, and now I'm dividing them by color, because in my drawers I have them divided by color. So I make little stash of, all red, all brown, all black and white. And then if it gets too low, then I just take the whole drawer out, and then I put my thickers away. And that's always how I put my thickers away. I usually wait till I have, quite a few to put away, and then I just put them all away in the drawer. That brown container that you see to the left there, that is my stuff for my December daily. I still haven't done that. Hopefully I'll get it done. Maybe, this summer I'll do something like Christmas in July or something like that. Just some kind of challenge for me to get it done. And that's one thing that I've learned for myself is I need challenges. I need goals. I need something to work towards, because if I don't, then I just don't get it done. So let's talk a little bit about my channel. What I'm going to try to do is have some schedule stuff. So let's say on Mondays, I'm going to do like scrap and chats, and maybe on Wednesday, I want to do a whip and chat, which is a work in progress and chatting. And I'm going to start doing more diamond painting stuff. And then maybe on Fridays, do like just a regular voiceover layout. So that's my plan for now. But for, this weekend, I did this where I, cleaned up my room just to show you and to give you a little update about what has been going on in my life. And then this afternoon, I'm also going to be catching up on my mini album for all the books that I'm reading. So that'll probably go up sometime next week. So probably the week after is when my channel changes are going to take place. Okay, so literally, guys, I had piles everywhere, and I'm just going through each pile, and I'm putting stuff back where it belongs. I moved over the Simon Says stamp order because I'm going to put that away. Now my stamps, I keep them in these containers, and I keep them by the company. Now that's just how I think of my stamps. So I think it just works as well as it works for you. Now when I think of a certain stamp set, I think of the company and not, a shape. So let's say if I think of a coffee, well, I know that I have some that is with Bo Bunny. I know that I have some that is with Stampin' Up, and that's where I go look for the stamp. So that's how I'm putting my stamp sets away. And then right there, I was like, wait a second, I put that with Studio Calico, and that was a Simon Says stamp. And just by the way the stamp looked, I knew that I had put it in the wrong spot. Again, tons of pattern papers. Now, when I had done one of my, make some pattern paper kits, I had gone through some collections and I had kept them all separate, but I didn't put them back in the plastic bags. So I took the time and put them each in their own little plastic bags. And then you'll see, I'll show you where I keep my collections. I keep my pattern papers about 4 different ways. I have by collections where years ago, I would buy every Echo Park that there was and every October afternoon. And so I've kept them in the plastic bags like this. So I keep them all together. Then I have another spot where I keep all my pattern papers by sheet. And those are not by manufacturers. They're just in a big container and all together. And a lot of times I'll just grab a big stack of that and make my page kits with that. Another stash of my pattern paper is all my Stampin' Up! Pattern papers, and those I've stored them by color. And that way, if I know if I want to do a purple page, I can go to that and grab some purple pattern papers. I have another place where I keep my older pattern papers. So I want to know where my older stuff is. And those I did divide them by manufacturers. So I know I do have quite a bit of different ways, but it works for me. So where I put all those collections that I just put back in the plastic bags, that's where I keep, my Echo Park, my Fancy Pants, and every single one of those is divided by alphabetical order, so it makes it easy for me to find a collection. Because again, I think by paper company. So if I'm looking for a certain collection, I know that Echo Park make that, so then I go look for that specific collection. Now that drawer that's open right now, that's where I keep all of my newer supplies, so stuff that I just bought lately. And then sometimes I'll go through that and grab, a newer collection, something new that I want to use instead of, maybe sometimes I'll try to use newer and older stuff together. Now this was one of the kits that I had put together for either putting a whole bunch of page kits together. I think that's what it was. So instead of taking it all apart, I still haven't finished putting those page kits together. So I just made it so that it was, nice and neat, and then I put it away. One of the last spots that I have to clean is literally just right in front of where I scrap. And usually that's where it gets pretty bad, because if I use a washi tape, one of my containers that I keep my washi tape is right there. It's this transparent 3-drawer thing that I just got at Michael's not too long ago. I have a few more spots where I keep my washi tape. But the ones that I use the most, like all the time, I've put it in that container. So you can see there's extra trash that I missed the garbage can, because I have a little garbage can that I keep right there. And a whole bunch of washi tape. It's filled with ink and enamel dots and all that stuff. So it's going to take me a few minutes to get that cleaned up, but it's so worth it. One thing that I didn't film me doing is I basically removed everything. I went to my sink and added, some soaps, and grabbed my magic eraser, and I washed the entire surface of my desk. And I washed quite a few of the other surfaces too, because it was getting, it had quite a bit of ink and all that stuff. So I just wanted to have a fresh start. I find when I get a ton of scrapbooking done, in order to get my mojo back, one thing that I do is get my scrap area cleaned up. If my scrap area is clean, I feel like going back into my room again and getting quite a few, pages done again. I know it's not always fun to get started because it's not a small undertaking. When you get it to that point, oh my goodness. Like I said, I was literally laying in bed and thinking, oh, you gotta do that. I usually don't like it to get that way. As soon as it gets that way, I usually clean it up. But because I was sick, it was literally that way for a good 2-3 weeks, and it was driving me bananas. So now it's clean, and I can tell you, last night I had a wonderful, wonderful sleep. And today, the only thing that I have left to do, because today is the day to vacuum everywhere anyway and wash the floors. So I'm going to be doing that in my scrap room, and then it's going to be done. I had 2 baskets that I was putting scraps in, and I decided to take one of them and just put my my guns in it. I have 2 guns. I have one from Stampin' Up that I use more for embossing because it gets really hot, and then I have the one from Ranger that I use more for mixed media. I also have a fan in there because in the summertime it gets really hot in my craft room. And the tripod, that is what I use to do some Facebook lives and to do some YouTube lives. Okay, so that's it. Now next I'll show you, I took a little video clip of when it was all done. Okay, you guys ready? Well, first of all, the floor, right? The only thing I have left to do is I'm going to vacuum. I swept the floor today, and tomorrow I'm going to vacuum and wash the floors. But just like SpongeBob would say, a few hours later. But it is complete. It was a very, very busy month. Plus, I was sick for 2 weeks, so that didn't help. But everything is cleaned up, like everything. I am so happy. So now I'm ready. This is like my reset. Now I'm ready to get scrapping again. Like even all that paper, was half of it was like pulled out, and everything's in now. Everything's all nice and neat. My desk, I have so much room. So yay. So I just thought I'd share that at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.